Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before I do get started, let me go ahead and say one thing. The basis for this storyline is quite simple. Zoro wandered into the wrong anime. Now, going off of that joke, I do want to say one other thing. It's gonna be a bit more, I guess, stupid or ridiculous, but I might have moments where Zoro just wanders off or comes back or comes in with some random items from One Piece, which might definitely be a thing if this does turn into a full-on storyline. However, treating this a bit more like a mini-shot, I am going to take it a bit serious. So, with that one wacky thing done, let me go ahead and get started. Now, let's start with Inko. Inko, she was a regular woman who is living her life. Soon she'll be graduating college, and things are going to be getting interesting. She wants to look into finding potentially a different job. She's already going to school and already has a career plan, but the part-time job she's going to have to quit soon to try and look for a full-time one, it's a whole thing. I mean, one place he applied to already kind of got destroyed by a villain. So it's down, considering the fact that people are trying to rebuild it. And that can take a few months. Especially since construction crews, they've just got their own foots up their own asses. And that, it does make her quite annoyed. However, as she's walking home, she does get to hear a sound. Right now, hearing a loud crash as a man, he does go to lay there on the ground, quite heavily injured. And whenever she does get to rush over to look at him, he does get to lay there. Right now, his leg twisted the wrong way, and his body covered in blood. Along with the fact that shortly a distance away, does get to lay a weapon. Right now, her quite alarmed seeing a strange sword. And she does to ask the man if he's alright. Then whenever he does go to begin moving and sitting up, he does somewhat cough out a bit of blood. Him going to look around and then go to turn his gaze towards her. Her quite alarmed by the look that does shine through his eyes. And he does go to turn, telling her to be careful with that sword. It's pretty sharp and it's bad. Where is he? Her going to quickly put the blade down. But whenever Zoro does go to stand, she does try to stop him. Though he does go to try and mend his own leg himself, trying to walk off to figure out where he is. Though when she does point out the hospital is in that direction, he does go to turn, walking away and going in the opposite direction. Her rushing over to help him, since clearly the guy must have a concussion. Now, Inko, she was still quite intrigued, and Zoro himself was quite alarmed discovering a lot that was going on in this strange place. And she was quite intrigued hearing about what he was talking about. The strange things from the home he's from. She's not really sure what is going on with this guy, but he's either crazy or has a very vivid imagination. Though, when he does talk about his crewmates, oh, well, it's almost like he fell off of a ship somewhere. That thought going through her mind. Now, Zoro, he does not have a plan. He's not really sure how to get home, and right now Inko is kind of the only person he does know. And while the two do continue their own conversations, she is listed as his emergency contact. And Zoro, he does eventually become a pro. Now, let's go ahead and cut to a few years later. Zoro, he does go to sit in the front yard thinking about a few things. He's a bit annoyed, a little bored. I mean, he's made some money on his dojo. He's made a lot of money in some of the strange books he's wrote about. It's not a lot, but it certainly was something. Though his wife Inko certainly can terrify him with her temper. And he is still quite intrigued to see what type of progress his son Izuku can make. He has no idea how to get home, and at this point he's not really sure if he can. It'll be a long shot, but by the time he gets back, it'll probably be shit. Too long? Maybe. He wonders if that damn idiot has been able to do anything since he's been gone. Though, he should be fine. Right. Him looking up, standing, and going to bring up his blade, yelling at his son about how he's doing it wrong and how he needs to be more careful with his swings. He's not putting his back into them. If he's not going to do that, then he's going to have a bit of a problem. Or does he want to deal with his mother again, since her own teachings can be quite extreme? And Deku does go to straighten his back and put more force into his strikes. Right now, Zoro going to sit down and somewhat smile, as we do have towards the end of middle school. Deku's father has been trying to teach him a lot of things, going over a few of the things and techniques he does know from his world, as he's called it. Izuku's not really too sure, but from what his dad has told him and what his mom understands, his dad thinks he's from another world. I mean, he's got some strange and weird abilities, so he's not sure how true that is, but he's given up on that joke. I mean, he's still persistent on it, but he still isn't going to believe it like he used to. Especially hearing about the adventures of Straw Hat Luffy, the damn cook, the navigator, the doctor, and what was it, Sniper King? Huh. And then there was that one lady. He talked about her before. She had many hands. His dad had a vivid imagination for stories. This thought going through Deku's mind. And right now, he does go to someone sit there, leaning back in the class he's in. And the teacher is going over quite a few things, telling him about how there is going to be quite a lot going on. Considering the fact that this is the last day of middle school, he would like to inform all of them. They've got quite a number of students who are trying to go to UA, and that is an interesting thing. 3 of such who are currently in this class. They have Mina Ashito, Ejiro Kirishima, and Izuku Roanoa. The class falling silent. And Deku, he does go from leaning back in his chair to lowering his gaze from the ceiling. And everyone, they do somewhat start to whisper out about that guy's whole deal. I mean, they know he's strong, but he's got a mean looking face. I mean, they've heard about his dad. It's weird. Plus, there's that whole thing about how he's just carrying around a sword. I mean, the office has it and he shows up with it, but they aren't too sure how to handle that. Right now, the teacher going to walk over to his desk and go to pull something out from underneath. And he does gonna set it down to the side. It being Deku's sword. Him going to express. Now, he would like to also say one thing that people in this class may need to hear. Mr. Roanoa, Izuku's father, he is one of the pros in the top 10. And as many of them may have heard from the rumors, he is quite the interesting man. No one's really exactly sure what his powers are, but he's shown immense amounts of physical enhancement. And he also does prefer to use a sword. Though it is unsure as to why. But from what they've seen in certain reports, Mr. Roanoa is quite dangerous in unarmed combat. And Deku does begin to hear some whispers. Right now, the teacher going to hear the bell ring as Deku, he does get a stand, making his way over and going to grab his sword. The teacher going to say something as Deku does get a turn looking at the man. Him falling silent as Deku does go to slip it into his belt loop. Right now, him going to bring his hand up and go to grab it by its hilt. Him adjusting it a bit as he does gonna find the comfortable position it can sit on. And he does go to leave. Now, as Deku is leaving, he does begin to hear a commotion. And there is where he does go walk over and see a group of girls giving that pink-haired girl from his class a bit of trouble. And he does get to overhear it as he's walking over. You really think that you can get any UA? I mean, your quirk is villainous, isn't it? Yeah, aren't you gonna hurt someone? I mean, what are you gonna do? Melt them? You're more likely to be evil, aren't you? Yeah, besides, from what I've heard, you're not gonna be good at it. You haven't done much. Your power is them watching as Mina's gaze is firmly locked on something behind them. And there is a strange feeling of eyes on the back of their necks. Right now, them going to turn their heads as Deku does get across his arms, expressing, "No, please, go on." He was still wondering what they were going to say about her. He was listening quite intently. Uh, we have to go. Them going to run off. And Deku does get a turn watching them go to leave. As he does that turn back to Mina with his arms still crossed, asking her if they were giving her that much trouble. Yes. Listen, it's no trouble at all. I really don't want you to get involved. Did you want my, money? For helping me? Your family's rich. What am I saying? No, I don't want that. Are you okay? Yes? Good. I have to go. I'm gonna try and get to the mall before it closes, so there's a lot to handle there. My dad gave me the day, and he's certainly gonna be pissed if I don't meet him at the beach at some point. Really? Yeah. I've gotta meet him there tomorrow, but it should be fine. He wants to do a bit more training, and, well, that's a whole other issue. Him waving his hands. And she does go to begin walking next to him, talking about it. Oh, what's it like with his dad being a hero? You know, he's just him. To you. But I mean, like, what does he do? Trains. A lot. That's it? Yeah, most of the time. Why? I don't know. It's just, you're kind of easy to talk to. Him giving her a flat look. And she does a look away, expressing. She's just saying, a lot of people say that he's pretty mean. But he doesn't seem mean. He seems kind of nice. Yeah, I got that before. My dad is a little brutal on training, so it's all about mindset. If you're going to give up, then you're going to hurt yourself more than a wound could cause you. Really? Giving up is the easiest thing you can do. Trying and failing means you did something good. It means you were willing to fail. If you're willing to get up again after being beaten down to the dirt, then that just shows you're willing to succeed. It's that simple. Her gonna stop. And Deku does get a turn and go to stare on. Right now, some villains are causing a bit of a problem. And Deku, he does get to see them. Him giving them a glare, as right now one does go to hold up a sword, and one does go to hold up a gun. Though whenever they do get closer, Deku does see that it's more like some sort of bone-like spike coming from their arm. And another one of those guys, they do have metal-like skin. And Izuku, he does come walking over. Right now the police trying to figure out exactly what to do. And Deku, he does go to sigh. Before he does to pull his weapon and go to hand it over to Mina. And she does a stare at the sword, along with her Deku does go to toss it to her. Catching it and going to stare at it, looking back and seeing that Deku's gone. As right now, Deku, he does it a walkover. And whenever the police are telling people to stay clear and stand back, Deku does get to stare at the situation. Seeing the man with the gun as he does go to leap onto the barricade and step over it. A cop informing him about what to do, but when Deku does a look at the man, he does a somewhat flinch backwards. And the guy does point the gun at Deku as Deku, he does go to glare him down. And talk about it. Right. Well now, if he's gonna go ahead and try and take hostages, then maybe he should try and pick on someone his own size. And the villain with armored skin does go rushing towards Deku. Him going to rush forwards and go to slam the man in the gut. Before he does go to bring his fist up and uppercut him. Setting him up into the sky as Deku, he does a turn to the one who does have the bone spike. And whenever he does come rushing towards Izuku, he does go to bring up his hand and go to cover it with Haki. Before the guy does a rush forwards and try to send out the blast as Deku, he does go to spin, using no sword style to send a gust of wind around him that does get to send the man with the gun somewhat staggering away. His hostage being able to get free as the man does lose his grip on the gun. And they do go tumbling to the ground as the woman does scurry away. The man trying to turn, look around, and find the weapon. And when he does go to find it, he does go to scurry over and grabbing it. Deku stomping under the man's foot before bending down and going to strike him directly in his shoulder blade and neck. As he does a turn back to the one who does currently sit embedded in the concrete wall with the knives on his forearms. And Deku does go to let out a bit of a sigh as he does start walking over. And when people do somewhat stare at him, he does go to make his way over to Mina and grab his weapon from her hand. And this time a cop does go to try and stop the two. Him alerting Izuku he can't be carrying that weapon around. And Deku does get a turn, glaring at him as he does get somewhat bring his hands up. Does he have a permit for that weapon? He can't just be carrying around a damn sword. People could get the wrong idea. My dad does it all the time. Him going to put it back into his belt and turning, talking about it. If he wanted to be a threat, he would have hurt someone. Right now, from what he saw, they were waiting on pros, and none showed up. What was he supposed to do? Let that girl die? Him going to shrug. Before talking about how they've got to go, since the mall, it's still open. Him turning to Mina, and going to talk about it. They really should get going. Him and her walking down the road as the cop, he does got to turn back to the situation and decide to let it go. The look in that kid's eye was not one he wants to deal with right now. And whenever Mina does turn the corner to make her way down the road to the mall, she does go to talk about it. It's still a bit interesting though. He's strong. He did that without a sword? What was that thing he heard turning? And I see that Deku is not there. Her going to see that he does make his way past a building on the other side of the road. And she does a look both ways and rush across. Her going to round the corner as Deku is talking. And she does a grab him by the arm and tell him, dragging him back the other way. He's going the wrong way. And he does it a turn. Right now seeing Kirishima, who does go to rush over and talk about it. Hey, he saw what was going on over there. Are they alright? He heard about some guy with a sword who took out some villains? Huh? Yeah, that was Izuku. You should have seen it. I mean, those guys were chump change. They weren't that strong. My dad's given me tougher practices whenever I was younger. Seriously? Yeah, that sounds crazy. Wasn't too bad. Though, whenever I was... not sure how that sounds, actually. Him scratching the back of his neck. Talking about it. He's pretty hungry, though. So, the mall's that way? Him putting a finger over his shoulder. And Mina does roll her eyes and laugh, asking how the hell he can have this bad a sense of direction. Besides, isn't he going to be using his phone for a map or something? Oh, I did. Him holding up his phone. And she does a glance down at it to see that Deku selected a mall. That part is correct. Though with what she's seeing on screen, this mall is in the next city over. So he was going the right way, but just in the wrong direction. Wrong mall. Her going to someone snort and talk about it. Right now, handing him back his phone and talking about how they can all go together then. What did he need to go to the mall for? Oh, I just need some stuff to try and figure out my training. I mean, I want to go to UA too. Yeah, I heard about that. Weren't you the guy that was called? Other than me? Yeah. Yes. Kind of was. I was hoping to get stronger with my ability. What's your quirk? Oh, I have a hardening quirk. Really? Yeah. I can harden my skin and it gets tougher the more I've taken damage with it. It's weird, but I've noticed it gets stronger over time. Really? Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of training. It's, well, A whole thing. Hmm. Okay. If you're up for some training, maybe we can train tomorrow. Really? Yeah, I mean, my dad and I are going to train. Him going to suck in a breath and gulp down some air. Sense, Mr. Roanoa? The Mr. Roanoa. A training session with a pro in the top 10 who's scary. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe. But, are you sure that's a good idea? Yeah, positive. Shouldn't be that bad. If I tell him to, he might even go easy on you guys. Might? Yeah. Them going to arrive at the mall as Deku. He does get a look around. Him quite intrigued as he does get to talk about a few things he hasn't seen before. At the other mall, there's a lot of cool shops. There's a lot of interesting places to go to shop and, well, a lot of interesting things to eat there. And when I do go to arrive at the food court, Deku, he does get some takoyaki. Him intrigued by the different sauce they have on this. And it's delicious. Him quite happy about that. Though he does try and talk to the two about a few other things. And Kirishima and Mina, they do both come to a bit of a conclusion. Mina realized earlier that this guy just has a mean looking face. Kirishima realized that he's just not very social. So, talking to people might just be a bit hard. Though he does seem kind of more oblivious. Not stupid, but inexperienced? Right. And that it does certainly relieve some of the tension in his shoulders. Though there is the next day. Mina and Kirishima, the two, they eventually were able to meet up the next morning when they were going to the beach. They knew that they should be there early, and from what Deku texted them, they should be there around 8. Though they were a bit eager. And there was the fact that they arrived a bit more around 7:30. And on their approach to the beach, there was a few different people standing there and watching something, looking over at the sand, as right now there is a powerful clash that does shake the air. And they go rushing over, intrigued to know what's happening. And right now, they do go to make their way over to the railing and see Deku and Zoro. As right now, Deku, he does hold up one blade. Him going to parry an attack by Zoro. And Zoro, he does gonna stand there holding up one blade as he does gonna have another in his mouth. Right now, Deku going to try and lean in and push against the one locked in the man's teeth. And whenever he does go lunging backwards, Zoro does gonna push the advantage. Right now, him going to rush forwards and send a strike down with the one in his mouth, releasing it from his teeth and grabbing it out of the air as he does a spin and go to send a swing out with a right sword. It being parried, as right now Deku, he does a step to the side and go to rush forwards. Him going to meet with a clash as the two, their blades do to clap together. And the air pressure behind it does alarm some people. As right now there is where Deku, he does have his sword thrown from his hands. It flying into the air as Zoro does a kick out and kick Deku in the stomach. Him sliding backwards against the sand and going into a roll. Then whenever he does go to recover, he does bring his arms up. Him going to cover his arms in armament hockey. And the look on his face, it does sort of have them a bit more concerned. As right now Deku does go to suck in a breath, and a strange aura does go to surround him. Them watching as the man, he does go to hold up his blades and go to get ready. An aura surrounding him. And the clash that does go to be met does go to send a powerful shockwave that does knock everyone off balance. And when the two do to both stand there, they do have the following scene. Deku, he is currently holding on to both of the blades in the man's hand, and Zoro is leaning forwards using more of his power to try and test his own son. Though Deku is quickly beginning to falter under the sheer strength that is being emitted by those blades in his own father's hockey. And right now, he does go to fall to a knee as he does go to say uncle. And the power does begin to fade. The pressure of it. And Reno Kirishima, he's huffing out air as if he's having a panic attack. When he does a look around, he doesn't see that other people are similarly doing so. Even someone being knocked unconscious. Though when he does a stand, he has a look over to Mina. And she does sit up quite alarmed as well, turning to see that quite a few more people, they're not getting up. A lot of people are crap. Turning back as Deku, he does to walk over. Him asking them, leaping up and clearing the 10-foot gap before he's grab onto the railing, asking them if they're here to pick up on some training. They're here a little bit early. Yeah. We were curious. What was that? So these are your friends, Izuku. Zoro going to leap up and land in front of Deku. Him going to slide under the railing and go to fully stand. Talking about it. Yeah. He mentioned they could come train. Maybe. Then again, I don't see much out of them. Tell me. Do you know how to fight? Either of you. No. Cat got your tongue? Him nodding his head. And Kirishima is trying his best not to piss himself. Now, Deku does go to walk up on his dad and smack him in the arm. Talking about it. Mom said he's got that damn problem. He's got that face and it terrifies people. And Zoro does a turn, smacking Deku on the shoulder. And he does go to talk about it. Don't blame him for that. Besides, if anything, blame his mom. She's more terrifying than he is. And the two do both stand there glaring at each other before bursting out laughing as it does to help relieve some tension. And Zoro does a turn, talking about it. He can teach them the basics, but at some point they're either going to have to learn a weapon or learn something else. He's fairly certain it might be easy, but it's certainly not going to be easy. Okay. So you'll train us? I can. Him turning and giving them a grin that does make a chill run up their spines. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next mini shot.